This is really a cradle-to-grave issue. If you look at that little boy, that little girl, in the cradle at the supermarket being pushed around by a parent who looks like they're ready to doze off right there in line, or if you look at toddlers that are running around their yard and they seem disturbed, or they're getting yelled at by their parents in a certain way, you don't know really where they're being affected by drug use. Or if you look at the kid in elementary school, they're dealing with each other, and there might be parents that have drug problems that are affecting those kids directly. The teenager who is in junior high school and high school, where they really start to break away with their parents, we see a lot of kids getting into trouble right around then, and that's a scary time. That's actually where I got into it, is right around junior high school. And for me, it started with a prescription. It started with a cough medicine, and 2 teaspoons later, I had dropped off the cliff myself. I didn't go into it fully at that point, but I marked that moment in time and I remembered what it was, so that probably about 4 years later, when I had the opportunity, I was right there. It provides the illusion of relief like nothing else, nothing else did. So, and that's what we're up against. I'm Peter Legassi. I run the post-overdose outreach and follow-up project. And in that project, we collaborate with the police departments, local municipalities, and the emergency providers, and the chaplaincy, and some other organizations to provide outreach and follow-up to people who have recently suffered from an opioid overdose by knocking at their door. It's a cold call. We'll actually visit them with the intent of providing engagement services if they want it, and meet them where they're at. It's gone on for about 4 years now, and we do have some state funding and state oversight. We are present in Fairhaven, New Bedford, Fall River, Dartmouth. We actually will go out with the police departments, and in various towns we'll have a chaplain along. Other towns we will bring another provider from another human service agency, sometimes treatment providers. We will knock on the door of somebody who's recently had an overdose, and with the hopes of engaging with that person. Safety is the #1 thing for addressing any kind of addiction problem, and both for the person trying to address it and the addict. There are many paths and many different ways to attempt an intervention for somebody. To try to do it any one way over and over again, you have to mix it up. You have to try different things. You have to talk to a lot of people and bring in a lot of support. So collaboration is huge in trying to help somebody.
First of all, we'd like to see, how are you doing? How are you feeling? Is there anything you need? Are there services? Are there referrals? Are there resources? Do you just need us to pray with you today? Would you like us to come back in a week or so? It also, for me, it's like prevention as well. It's bringing awareness maybe to folks who don't understand that there's fentanyl in cocaine, or that there may be fentanyl in marijuana, or to maybe a parent or a loved one, tell them about a meeting where they can go and be with other folks who are going through what they're going through, to give them encouragement, to give them hope, to give them, a more of an understanding of maybe what families are going through. I think the more people that understand about the opioid crisis, the easier it becomes, the less stigma there is. I can tell you that when I started outreaching on the waterfront in 2016, I went down to the waterfront and I was very, very nervous because it wasn't a topic that was discussed, and I certainly didn't want to add more stigma to what these guys already have. And I just shared a personal experience. My boyfriend, who is a fisherman, his son was not, but he lost his son in 2013. To a fatal overdose, and I know how much that hurts. So, and I just also totally believe that the more you talk about it and the more questions you can answer, the more folks understand, and they become advocates as well.
When I give somebody my business card and I say, call me if you're having a hard time, call me if you're struggling, it's good to see you doing better, but give me a call. That person probably isn't going to call me if they're going through an episode of craving. They're probably going to call whoever they can call to get the chemical they need to get to put in their system to give them the illusion that the pain is gone. And they might not make it through that. So to be brutally honest with people about the nature of this thing is very, very important. To say, call me when you're ready, you know, you can call me when you're not ready. You can call me if you just need to talk. You can call me if you are wondering about some of the things that could happen, you know. So it's that important that we have to really engage with people, even if they're not ready. We have to keep trying. Absorb what you can use from each resource, reject what you can't use, and add what is specifically your own.